So good, so good, so good.
Everything you want for summer is at Nordstrom Rack stores now, and up to 60% off. Stock up and save on the brands you love like Vince, Sam Edelman, Frame, and Free People. Join the Nordy Club to unlock exclusive discounts, shop new arrivals first, and more. Plus, buy online and pick up at your favorite Rack store for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
Ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer ahead to learn more. See you this summer.
And action! Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Filmmakers Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk filmmaking, from indie film to studio films to high-end TV to documentaries, everything in between. How to get made, how to make them, and how to try not to royally F it up, in a very, very humble opinion. I'm Giles Alderson, and I'm going to Cannes in 3 days. Woohoo! How are you? Are you good? We have a truly fantastic episode for you today. Our guest is the phenomenal actor, a seasoned producer, and now a powerhouse featured director. Alongside her partner on the podcast before, Joanne has produced an incredible slate of gritty, successful genre films, including Bait, Before Dawn, Attack of the Adult Babies, Wolf Manor and Evie. But today, she's here to talk about catching the directing bug and taking the helm for her incredible feature debut. Welcome the brilliant Joanne Mitchell. Joanne joins me to talk about her brand new film. It's a horror drama, psychological horror drama called Broken Bird. The film was chosen as an opening night selection at FrightFest, and it is officially, ladies and gentlemen, boys and germs, out right now on all major streaming platforms in the UK and the US. This is very exciting. I was blown away by this film. It's incredible. It's really deep, it's heartfelt, it's got so much going for it, and it's got an incredible performance by Rebecca Calder as the lead role. So, we dive deep into the absolutely wild journey of getting this film made. Joanne tells us how an out-of-the-blue opportunity from a US production company handed her a nice big budget to make the film, but with a catch. You'll find out very soon what that is about. We also talk about the intense challenges of working with a non-English speaking crew in 85-degree heat, and how she turned a disused Royal Palace kitchen into a... Yeah, you'll find out that too. She also talks about why she hired a cinematographer purely on gut instinct, who has since gone on to work with Martin Scorsese. And she shares her sort of incredible and valuable perspective on directing actors, because she's an actor herself. She knows exactly how vulnerable it feels to be on set. And she drops some absolute gold on how to give private notes and build trust too. So that's coming up for you very soon. But first, Cannes is coming up. 3 days' time. You're going to be there. I'm going to be there, right? If you're not there, don't worry about it. You're not missing out on anything. Nothing. Nothing happens in Cannes. Sometimes nothing does happen in Cannes. Sometimes people just get drunk and fall about the streets saying they have a film. Someone finance my film. That happens a lot, actually. But most of the time, it is for connecting and chatting to people and trying to get stuff made. What I found from Cannes, the overall arcing theme, is that it's a 5 to 10 year process. Don't expect anything at all from Cannes, but it's a 5 to 10 year process where it might. One of these contacts you've met, you keep meeting year after year, or then you meet them in a BAFTA screening or an indie film screening or a short film screening. You meet the same people and suddenly you can collaborate. I've had so many people collaborate from Cannes or from coming to events, mainly from coming to events, but from Cannes especially, it's just a chance to get out there, show your face and let people know what your project is. And if nothing else, you get really good at pitching your film, which is so important when you have to get in front of investors. Not not too many of them will you meet out in Cannes, I have to say. The people who will say they're investors so they can get people to talk to them. Oh, that happens a lot too. But anyway, are you going? If you're going to be there, come say hi. Please do come say hi. Say listen to the podcast and whatever. But if nothing else, just come say hi and introduce yourself and you know me from the podcast. Why not? Come say hello. If you are going, then RecDeck is one of the places to be. It has got an app. If you're not on the RecDeck app, you should be. Ed Rigg has set this up, and this year they've got RecDeck House. And this year it's a lottery for the RecDeck House Cannes 2026. Go on Apple Store now and type in RecDeck. RecDeck. It's a brilliant platform where you can share the films that you love and hate with your friends. And Ed also organises loads of cool things off the back of it, including events. So once you've signed up, you can go to the events page. It's free. It's cool as hell. So get involved. That's RecDeck. Also, want to give a shout out to Highway. So if you're in Cannes and you are struggling to find a distributor or sales agent who wants your film, which can happen a lot, there is a new infrastructure platform built especially for us independent filmmakers and the production companies out there. So if you have your finished film, you thought, now what do I do with it? Well, if you don't know, if you've listened to this podcast for this amount of time, then you haven't been listening properly. You haven't been writing down notes, have you? But if you still don't know what to do, or you haven't got through to the right channels, Highway is trying to solve that exact problem for you. It's basically a place where you can store your film and you can share it securely with your film partners, your investors, with festivals, and you can even release it directly to audiences yourself, should you wish. It's kind of a better Vimeo. If anyone's from Vimeo is listening, yeah, should be ashamed of yourselves. No, don't say that, Giles. You can get litigation suit. I don't mean that. Vimeo has been amazing to so many people. However, it's annoying. I'm allowed to say that. Caveat that, my lawyer is listening. My lawyer has said that's okay. But Highway is that place. It's kind of the new place for you. So you can set your own prices. You can control where it's available. You can sell passes or single films and get paid directly in real time. So you don't have to hand over all your rights or your audience data. That's yours. So it's not another streaming service competing for your attention. It is an infrastructure that lets you run your own. So if self-distribution or direct-to-fan is on your radar, Highway is definitely worth checking out. You keep 90% of your revenue and you own your data for as little as £20 per month. I'd say it's worth checking it out. www.onthehighway.com. Highway spelled Hiway. onthehighway.com. Link to that is in the show notes, and so is an affiliate link. So just click that. Click that for me because that'll help us out. But also you get to check out Highway and what they're about. They're on socials at @on_the_highway. Hiway. Referral link is in the show notes. Check it out. Okay, let's get back to what this episode is all about today, which is the wonderful Joanne Mitchell with her massive inspiring masterclass about trusting your gut, earning the respect of your crew, and making the leap from producing to directing, from shorts to features, from acting to producing to directing. So grab a brew, get your notebooks out. This is a long one, but it's a good one. I mean it, there's so much gold here. Hang in there. We've given you some short ones recently, so this is it. Sit back, relax, it's ace. Please welcome to the show, Joanne Mitchell. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I think we met at FrightFest one year. I'm pretty sure we did.
I think it was a few years ago because you know Dom, don't you?
Yes.
My other half. So
yes.
I think it was, I don't know when it was. It was a good few years ago anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah,
was.
Good old FrightFest.
Good old FrightFest, which is where you obviously got to premiere this last year, which must have been amazing.
Yeah, it was good. It was amazing. Yeah, fuck. Yeah. I mean,
opening night as well, right?
I mean, That's it. Where you can't really go anywhere from after that, can you?
No, you can't. You can't. It's just so cool. Yeah, well, obviously we had Dom on the podcast as well in the past talking about the films that you made with him, you produced with him. So it's really nice to chat to you now as well.
Thank you, Giles. It's a pleasure to be here because I listen to your podcast quite a lot. So.
Oh, do you? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Good.
It's on my list. So
on your list.
Recently, you recently did one with Brian Cox, didn't you?
Yes, yeah, he was fun. He's just unfiltered. He don't care. He don't care. He could have gone further as well. You know, when he's slightly holding back, you know that he wants to say all sorts of shit.
I think you get to that kind of stage in your career, in your life, and you just think, fuck it, I don't care. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, he's Brian Cox, he's a legend. So.
I know. And I think obviously we both come from the acting background, you still act. But you have that feeling, I don't know about you, but of not wanting to upset someone in the park, in the street, in case they're a casting director or a producer. And you have this ridiculous notion. It's horrible. It's kind of nice being a director to not worry so much about that.
100%. Yeah. And I still love acting. I do love it. I think I respect it so much and I love it. But and I'll still do it if the right part comes along. But,
sure.
What's
the difference for you? Because I know what it is for me between acting and directing, but what was it that when you first directed that you went, oh, okay, I've got to do this more, or wanted to get that passion? What was it? What was the little spark?
Well, that's interesting. It started with the micro-budget movie making with Dom, because we did all those micro-budget films, and although it was incredibly hard, you really did learn on the job. And once you've done it, you've got a sense of achievement, and then it gets sold and then it gets distributed. I mean, we're not talking big bucks here. We're talking, small fry, but it's a real sense of achievement. And I kind of looked at directors, and I've always wanted to do it, but I just thought, nah, I'd never be able to do it because, you have to go to film school or you have to do this, that, the other. And then an opportunity arose where our friend, who we know, Tracy Shields, sent us this short film, sort of like a paragraph, like a PDF of what she thought about this storyline for Sybil, the short film Sybil. I thought, I love that. We could definitely develop that and explore that. And Dom went, you should have a go at directing. I said, do you think so? And I said, I'd love to. I'd really love to. So I did, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it was obviously made for a can of Coke and a packet of crisps, and it was super cheap. And I think we shot it in 2 days. But it was so much fun and hard work, yes. And then I thought, I could do this. I like this. And then it led to The Outing, which was a short film I directed and produced with Karen Newman. I think you've had from the podcast as well. And that was really great. And that was shot in lockdown. And that was, again, hard because it was in lockdown. And that did okay, went to the various festivals and stuff. And then Sybil was always sort of in development. It kept going backwards and forwards because don't have the money to make the feature film, blah, blah. It would get shelved because something else came along, and then I got an opportunity out of the blue, literally out of the blue, because I was prepared to make it for like
whatever. Yeah, whatever you can get hold of.
So that just came out of a really amazing opportunity out of the blue. It was I knew this producer in America, and I hadn't spoken to him for a good few years. And he was always, a fan of our work and was kind of amazed that we could make really micro-budget movies for that
brilliant
amount of money.
And brilliant movies as well. They're really fun, your movies. I love them.
They tick certain boxes.
They do. Yeah. Certain crowds love them, and I get it. Yeah. I totally get why.
Yeah, thank you. And so he said, look, he was setting up with some other producers a studio called Catalyst Studios, and we are going to be doing a slate of 6 films, all female-led. So there'll be female directors, female producers, female writers, and female-led stories. So I was like, so he said, on one of the films, we really like to have a genre piece. and have you got anything? I said, oh, yes, I've got lots of things. I'll send, he said, well, send one over and, see what we can do. I'll have a chat. So I sent across Sybil. It wasn't finished. It needed work, but the idea was there. And I sent it across and they liked it. And I was kind of like, oh, okay. That doesn't happen very often. And they said, we really like it, but can we work with you to see how we can develop it and see how we can work with you to develop it?
Sure.
And I said, yeah, of course. But then I put in a little caveat and I said, well, if you like it and you want it, I need to direct it. And I don't know why I said that, and I don't know where it came from.
Did you not? Were you not thinking of directing it at that point?
Well, I'd love to, but I just thought they won't want me; they'll want somebody else, Right. So, and so they went, right, okay, we'll talk about that, and came back and said, okay, yeah, okay, well, let's give that a go. Let's see how we progress with developing the script and everything, and see if we can work together. So that took about sort of 18 months. And all in that time, because, filmmakers, we know that we get let down. We know that the money falls through, something happens and it doesn't work out. So I was kind of relaxed and I thought, I'm just going to enjoy this process of working with these guys and seeing where that takes us.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect anything, to be honest. Just because...
We've been there before. This industry, people talk a good game. People say they have slates. People say that, of course, we can make your movie. And yes, you can direct. And yes, you can do. We've heard it so many times, especially when I was trying to make my first feature, the amount of times I heard this. So yes, totally get why you'd be skeptical. And let's circle back to that moment, because it's such a lovely sort of cliffhanger to sort of hang on for a second. In terms of the directing side and doing that with your first two shorts, talk us a bit through about your process of it. Obviously, because you've come from the acting background, you trained at Bristol Old Vic, you've done so much TV, you've obviously produced feature films as well at this point. What was it going into that you'd done? Did you take inspiration from other directors you'd worked with? Did you storyboard? Did you shot list? Did you work with it, with your DP? Talk us through that and the difference then we'll get to with the feature film as well, because I find it so interesting.
Yeah. I think just having been on set a lot, you're watching all the time. I'm watching not only the other actors, but also the directors, the first ADs, the camera guys, the crew. You're just watching it. I found that I was always absorbing everything that was going on around me. And obviously, when I was working with Dom, on the producing side, when I was on set, I was watching how he was directing, and because he was an actor, he is an actor. Yeah. And I found that collaboration really interesting. And having worked with some directors who I found difficult to work with as an actor.
In what way? Were they just not giving you what you needed, or were they just very camera orientated?
Well, I think, some actors, I don't know, maybe well, there's one particular instance, I was trying to work out whether I was being a little bit needy, or, the director wasn't that interested because I wasn't the main part, or do you know what I mean? And it was I remember asking for a bit of direction and asking, if I'm coming in this, where do I pitch that?
Yeah, what's my level? Yeah.
Yeah. And, sure. I knew what my motivation was, but, when you're just walking into a scene, sometimes you need to, know where that level is.
Yes.
And I remember him just saying, I haven't got round to you yet. Just don't worry about it. Like that. And
I haven't got round to you yet. Okay. What is this, a game?
Yeah. And I think he was just really stressed. And
sure.
And I get that he was stressed. So I suppose from that experience, what that made me feel then for the rest of the day was quite vulnerable and insecure. And I felt quite exposed. And so that when I was on camera, I did the job was fine. It was fine. No complaints. But I didn't feel that grounded in myself because of that interaction, and it never sort of got any better. It didn't get any worse, but it was.
Yes.
So it made me realize that relationship between an actor and a director is super important, and that and actors are pretty sensitive creatures.
Very.
And that they don't need mollycoddling, but they just need time. And
they need someone watching them, right? I mean, usually the directors, if the monitor's there on set, the makeup are watching the makeup, the grip is watching exactly what they need to watch, the gaffer's looking at all the lights, and the director's the one watching the actors. And the actor just needs someone to go, even if that was good, that's sometimes all an actor needs to go, great, I'm on the right lines. And when you don't get that, I remember one film I did as an actor, and the director didn't give any feedback to anyone. And I ended up just pushing harder. You sort of go, oh, well, this time I'll go bigger. This time I'll do this. I want a reaction. It was ridiculous because they just sometimes didn't know how to talk to actors. And you do feel lost and alone, and very important, that relationship.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that it always stayed with me. And when I watched, Dom and some other directors, because there's so many wonderful directors out there, I realized that they had a lot of time and empathy for the actor. So therefore, then the actor trusts the director. So when you trust the director, you give your best work. And that's what we all want, don't we? We want everyone to give their best work. Yeah. And so that's what sort of really stuck with me. But then I was always, really interested as well within, moving to the sort of directing side of it, having understood and thinking I understand. Hopefully, I do understand the actor. Having been one myself, is also the vision that is. It has to be strong, has to be clear.
Yeah.
And that's the fun part of working with your DP, I guess. And which is what I really, really enjoyed on all the films, working with the DP, because they've got a visual idea as well, but it's your vision. And if they have something better, then that's great. Let's work together and collaborate. And that's, I think that's what I love about directing, is that collaboration with the other departments. And it doesn't just mean, the production designer, the costume designer, the makeup, the wardrobe, everything is a collaboration. And I think that's where possibly I excel more, because I like to be amongst people and to have that teamwork, I guess.
Yeah, I can see it in your eyes as well. Even talking about it, you were visualizing being on set, and you can see those moments. And I think that's what's so important for a director to understand it. And that's why I think often directors who have acted or come from the acting background do understand a lot more of what the actor needs. And I think that's so important. The actor director, if you like, or the actor's director. And I think it's really great. And in those first shorts, did you storyboard? Did you do your shot list? How did you manage that? And did it change when you came to Broken Bird?
Yeah, I did storyboard for both Sybil and The Outing, and shot list as well. And then it invariably changes when you get on set, particularly with The Outing, because we were filming in lockdown, and it was the one weekend where we were in the northeast and by the beach, and I've forgotten the name of the place now. It's just gone out of my head. But it was beautiful, but there wasn't many people around. However, that particular weekend, they decided to lift the ban so that it was like a bank holiday weekend, and they decided to lift the ban. And it was a really beautiful, sunny weekend.
So everyone was out.
And everyone was out. And it was supposed to be set in the 1970s.
Oh, no.
And the beaches, I am not joking, they were like Blackpool. It was infested with people, and there were police on horses, everything, because everyone was bringing crates of beer down to the
big party
barbecue.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, what did you do?
I don't know how we did it. I was just like, I just remember feeling in this state of anxiety for about 36 hours. But somehow it just worked. We managed to do it. And luckily the Northeast people are so friendly.
Yeah.
That when we said, we've got to do this scene, it was all on the beach. Got to do this scene on the beach. Do you think you could just move out of the way?
Could you just move your towels?
They were running up, and so then we thought, and they were really brilliant. They were brilliant because I had Julie Hesmondhalgh, who was in it, and Con O'Neill.
Yeah. Oh, both fantastic actors.
Yeah, both fantastic. So everyone was excited because, Julie was in it. What's her name? From Coronation Street. Yeah. And Dom was walking around with his hat on.
Trying not to get recognised. Yeah.
I was like, this is like the worst scenario ever. Yeah. But it was really, I mean, we made it to our advantage because there was like signposts saying you cannot walk down this walkway, for example, which is where we'd planned to film.
Right.
So the grip just went, right, I know what I'm going to do. He got the signpost and he put it there so that nobody else could walk through.
Brilliant.
We could just film there. I mean, it was guerrilla, it was kind of like, just quickly do it. Let's get this shot and then move on. And it was, it was just bizarre. And then we thought, right, one morning we thought, okay, we'll go and we'll get up really, really early because this was in sort of May time. So it was summertime with the sun and everything was up very early. So we got down there really early to film. But then there was all these people running up and down doing their exercises on the beach. So it was kind of like, oh, we can't. Somehow we did it, Giles. I don't know how, but it worked. But that's kind of, it is one of those things whereby you don't have a choice. You just have to get on with it. You can't pack it all in and go, sorry, we can't do it this weekend. We'll have to do it. We've had to do it. Yeah. And we did it. And it was great, it worked out.
Yeah, I love that. I love that it worked out. And especially when you're making shorts and you do, even features, you just have to go, well, look, this is what it is. Let's adapt. Let's pivot. How do we do it? We're going to have to. This is it. I've got all the kit. I've got all the crew. I've made the sandwiches.
Just got to get on with it.
This is happening, guys. Yeah, I'll get you an ice cream later, but for now, please, can you move out the way? Yes, we can get this shot.
Yeah, it was. It was a bit like that. We'll buy you, whatever you want. We'll buy you a drink, whatever. But can you just move out? And they were like, yeah, no worries. They were also happy to be out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, how nice, though. That's so lovely. I remember filming in Grimsby. It's not the northeast, making that very clear, but it's not too far away. And the same thing there when we had a problem, when we had to ask people to move. People were so nice. They were so generous. And of course, no worries, what you film in, explained. And then they'd move. They'd just go, yeah, all right. Someone might make a fuss for a bit. You just ignore them. And then eventually they get bored. No one's looking at them. And they'll go, in front of the camera. Yeah, exactly. Just go, yeah, you look silly, mate. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, and I think as long as you're good with them, if you're decent with them, it's fine. They kind of feed off that, and they get excited. And, if everyone's kind and respectful, then we're not going to be long. We're going to be here for an hour. Do this shot quickly, maybe less. Yeah, but we'll move on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and they do. So you got the directing bug. Now let's bring that back to Catalyst and where they were at, and they're developing Broken Bird with you. Was it called Broken Bird at the time? No. Okay, so it's still Evie, or it's still Sybil at this point. So it's still Sybil. Evie's the latest one, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah,
it was a while ago. Okay,
before this one. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. That you produced. Okay, so it's still called Sybil at the moment, and you're in this place of trying to develop it with them. Right, let's pick up the story there. So at this point, there's no money involved. At this point, it's just we have this slate and we want to try and get 6 women and making feature films. So what happened next? So you're developing, you're writing the scripts, you've brought in the team as well to write this with you. Talk us through that.
Well, yeah, it was just me and Dom for this part and them.
Right, okay.
So they were very much sort of collaborating with how they wanted. We'd present something and then they say, okay, we'll try about this. And then one of the interesting things was that the budget was $2 million, which I think is about 1.5 around that area.
Yeah, that's great.
It was more than I'd ever, dreamed of. And so there was always part of me that just was like, no, this isn't going to happen, whatever, but we'll keep going, see where it takes us.
Because if nothing else, you'll get your script to the place where you're happy with it, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Let them develop. Sure, there's $2 million in a pot somewhere for me. Of course there is. Yeah, great.
Yeah,
absolutely. Hoping beyond hope that it's true, but deep down thinking, well, maybe. Yes. Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
so you and Dom are writing the script, you're getting it to a place where you're happy, or at least happy enough to make it.
Yeah. Predominantly Dom was doing the screenplay, but I was sort of, over the story. story side of it with this, and obviously the guys there at Catalyst. And I think for about 18 months, and I was just, there was various meetings saying, is this happening? Has the funding come through? What's going on? And then, all the while, as we've just been talking about, I'm aware that it could all fall through, because we know we've been there many times before, and then we were supposed to be going out to Serbia in, when was it? I was supposed to be going out in September time, October time, and it was getting to the end of August, and I was thinking, this isn't going to happen, and I was talking to the producer, Zoe Stewart, and we were talking, and she was like, I'm not sure if this is going to happen. And I'm like, I'm not sure if this is going to happen, because we're really cutting it a bit fine now.
Yeah. And was this, sorry, Jan, was this to go over and start prep at this point with Catalyst?
Yeah.
Was this, right, so this was very much like you're moving over, prep, shoot, be there. Wow, okay. So they're based in Serbia, or was that always where you were planning to film, just so we're clear?
Yeah. No, they had, what had they'd gone, Capitalist Studios had gone into production with another Belgrade Serbian film company.
I see. Okay.
Because the tax credit's pretty good over there, that's what that's how they were going to invest with their money.
Right.
And actually, I think the cost of production is lower than it is.
Yes, it's much cheaper. Yeah, we've looked at Serbia in the past and gone, wow, you can get, it's almost a third of the cost for a key grip, or for, certainly PAs, and you kind of go, wow, that can save you a lot of money on your budget.
100%. Yeah. So that was the reasoning behind that. Obviously, I didn't have anything to do with the money or the sort of production or the producer's side of things. I would be purely hired as a director,
right? Which
was lovely, actually.
Which is lovely. And just on that, was Zoe from Catalyst, or is Zoe come on from your side as producer?
So Zoe Stewart is a UK producer, but based in LA, and she was brought on by Catalyst as a producer for that movie.
Great.
They were sort of the execs over the umbrella over the 6 movies, were the 3 other executives, who are the ones that I was working with the script, and then Zoe was brought on as an on the ground producer of my particular movie. She had nothing to do with any of the other movies that were going to be filmed. Sometimes I think the idea was to film 2 at the same time, and one consecutively after the other.
Got you.
It was a pretty mean feat, really, to do that. I've never done that before, I think, for them.
I think so too. So it's August now. You're supposed to be going over in September. You speak to Zoe. You're both going, I'm not sure. What happened next?
You get childcare, you know.
Exactly. Well, yeah, right? You've got to work out your life. I know.
Yeah,
I believe me.
By animals and my all sorts
exactly,
of
No, I know. I've done the same. I'm like, am I actually going? Am I packing my bag? It's happened to me so many times. Like, am I leaving this month, or is it next month? What's going on?
Yeah, it's constantly, it's the goalposts are moving all the time. So, anyway, well, cut a relatively short story. It basically, we got a call to say, okay, we're booking your tickets to come out to Serbia, and I think that was within 3 weeks of where we were. So we've got you, come out in 3 weeks. We'll book all your tickets, and then it just snowballed, just went like that. Wow. And then before I knew it, I was in Belgrade thinking, how I'm off going to shoot a movie here for north of England,
Yeah. Yes, because, so the audience don't know, obviously shooting in Serbia, the film is set in the north of England. Interestingly, I didn't know until I saw the credits come up, and I went, oh my gosh, where did she shoot? I was seeing all the names of the credits going, I don't know these people, hang on. She can't have shot in the UK. But I didn't know that. I had no idea. I thought it was fabulously the wool pulled over my eyes, if you like, but in a lovely way. I thought that was fantastic. I didn't know at all you hadn't shot here. I thought it was really marvellous.
Right.
But yes, how did you, because it is so different, the north of East to Serbia in a lot of essence. How did you do it? What did you do? How did you plan to go, right, we're going to make this look like Whitby. We're going to make this look like, wow.
I can't tell you when that journey from the airport to the production offices, I was just shaking my head, feeling sick, actually. I just thought, it's like all this brutalist architecture.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
pink buildings.
It's impossible. It's like, so I just kind of went there and introduced to everybody, and they were all brilliant. Everyone was great. They were lovely people, and they said, don't worry, we'll find what you need. And I'm thinking, okay, I need to find an old English pub. I need to find rolling hills. I need to find, sort of wetness. And when I went there,
wetness.
Very northern. It's always raining.
Yes.
And I went there, and it was like 85 degrees, and it was like, oh my God, am I going to film here? But it kind of, things work out, don't they?
They do.
Because you just have to think, well, I'm doing it, and I've got to be very flexible and open my mind. And, this location will not work anymore. That's in the script that I was really passionate about. So I'm going to have to find another location that's going to work. And that's how it sort of evolved, really. There was, we had a really great location scout and location manager, and they went above and beyond. They couldn't do enough, and I did see a lot of places. And as soon as I started opening my mind to other possibilities, then my imagination was like, okay, well, this could definitely work as the museum, because I'd seen the museum as a very sort of like the influence was the museum in Liverpool when I went to see the sort of all the mummies and all of that,
I know the one. I went to see it about a year ago. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I know the exact museum. Yeah, it's so cool.
That was my that's how I saw it.
Right.
And there was nothing really like that there. Then we went to this sort of enclosed, it was almost like a cave in this park. And I thought, oh God, this would be amazing. We can use this as that. And it'll, and the sound guys were going, oh my God, the sound's going to be terrible. They were all funny. I said, oh, it'll be fine. And then eventually we got that. And then we had the most amazing production designer who really dressed it. And all the art directors.
It looked incredible. The production design looked incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
I didn't see a pub though. Did you pivot from a pub?
Yes,
okay.
I had to put from a pub, Giles. I was desperate to find a pub, but though they kept giving me sort of Irish themed pubs and stuff. I was like, no, that's just not going to work. But it was funny because I was walking around the back of the production offices, and I was going off to get a pizza at this place. I was told, someone said, it's a really nice pizza place. You get really good coffee and pizza and blah, blah. So I thought, all right, I'll go there on my break. And as I walked outside it, I just went, this could be the poetry bar. This could be, it's a bit more pretentious. It's a bit Hebden Bridge, but it could definitely, it could definitely be, it doesn't have to be a pub. It can be a poetry bar and poetry evenings instead of that sort of open mic pub night. So I just sort of adapted it to that, and actually I was really pleased with how it all turned out in that sense.
I love that. I love the fact that it actually, now knowing what you said, that it wasn't a traditional pub or it wasn't a traditional English-looking place. It kind of had its own weird feel to it, the whole movie. So I think it really helped shooting in Serbia, because not only did you have to think outside the box to find these locations that would work, but then it gave it its own feel. Like the mortuary itself. That looked amazing. I was literally like, where did they shoot this? Because of the tiles on the wall, the way it looked, the light coming through. I was like, did they build this? Was my first thought. And I thought maybe they actually found a mortuary in Serbia. I was like, maybe you did. Well, how did you get that? How did that work?
Well, we did actually go and see a lot of locations, one of which was the Belgrade mortuary. And that was horrific. And I was like, No way,
Yeah.
it was like there was no holds barred. You could just walk in, and let's just say it was all there.
Oh my God.
And yeah, it was quite overwhelming and upsetting, actually. So I said, we're not going to be filming in a mortuary. It's difficult. You can't manage that situation either because all the timings. Anyway, so they sent me to there's a palace in Belgrade where the princesses, I think, still live, but I think they come back and forth to England or America. But anyway,
Okay.
and part of that, they've got these kitchens, which is a separate building,
Right.
and they're disused, but they were the kitchens. And we went in there, and it was quite small, and I was a bit worried because I thought, how are we going to get everyone in here? Cameras, blah, blah, blah. But I loved the space so much. And yes, the corridor with the tiles either side would have had that really lovely effect.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, and we've got that lovely window at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And light through, which was beautiful. And again, Alyosha, who was the production designer, just had the most amazing ideas. And he said, right, and we did have a proper slab, which was a bit of a pain because it was so, the marble slab, the body slab was so heavy. It wasn't just easy to push it aside. So we were sort of going around. Anyway, it all worked out. But one of the most amazing things, which was a shot that I got, which wasn't in my shot list at all, was at the back of the kitchen, there was a door, a barred door, and it went through an underground tunnel, which then led to the actual palace. And on the other side of that door is a guard that you can't go through because obviously it's the royal palace.
Right.
And I just went, oh my God, this is amazing. Can we use this?
Yeah.
And the woman who was showing us around, who ran sort of the estate, said, it went, well, I'm not sure because it's, because of security and everything. So please.
Please, I'm just an innocent filmmaker.
I'll only be 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes. I'll only be 5 minutes. Yeah. That's just to set up the light. Yeah, one. Yeah.
Yeah. I went a little tiny bit. And then, and I said, it'd be such an amazing shot because you put the lights on, and in that shot, when you see little Sybil running down the corridor.
Oh yeah,
it was the actual lights were the lights that actually switched on, and they went and the sound effects on top. So it was sort of those happy mistakes that you find, and it was great. Yeah, so that was the disused kitchen and the corridor going to the palace.
Incredible. Yeah, like I say, it gave it its own feel. I love this film. I thought it was so fantastic. I thought it was beautifully shot. I thought it was stunningly performed, so well directed. It just kept moving. It just kept the pace. It kept interesting. I loved how you brought the audience into scenes as well. You sort of move the camera into a close-up or into the room, or it was like constantly moving with you, and then it settled so the audience go, oh cool, now I can listen to what's going on. I thought it was really beautiful. Did you work with the gimbal a lot? Was it steady cam? Did you have cranes? Did you have toys at all? Obviously being in Serbia, they do have some lovely kit there as well.
They do. We did have Steadicam. Yeah, we did have Steadicam, which was great. Really useful because we did have quite a lot to shoot in a small amount of time, especially with the different locations that we had. So we had Steadicam, which we used as much as we could. We did have a crane for the crane shot outside of Emma's house on that moment that happens.
Yes.
I don't want to spoil it.
That happens, yes.
That happened. So yeah, and then it was quite sometimes we had it handheld and then on the slider and steady and sometimes locked. But yeah, we had Igor, who was a cinematographer, wanted a Russian jib at one point,
yes.
And he was kind of Russian arm.
Yes.
And we couldn't afford that, so we didn't have that. But we fixed the cameras to the side of the cars, and obviously had the limpet at the front and all of those kind of things. So we really managed. I mean, on the budget that we had, it was very, very doable.
Yeah. How was it working with Igor Marovich? Is that right? How you say his name? Because obviously it's the first time working with a new cinematographer, not your regular, if you like, even from your shorts. How was that? How is it getting a new relationship with a new DP, especially on your debut feature where you're really trying to get your vision across, and it's such an important relationship, the director-cinematographer role. How did you form that? How did you become on the same page?
Yeah, it's a really good question, because basically I couldn't have my own DOP from the UK. All the HODs, aside from the producer and the director, had to be Serbian. So I was kind of, again, concerned that the language, it is a barrier.
It is.
And I didn't know them. I didn't know if they'd understand my vision. I didn't understand if they'd get the story. And so Zoe got me quite a few interviews with DOPs, and they were all great. But the one thing that set Igor aside, even though he didn't have a show reel, he didn't have a website.
So unusual. Okay.
I know. He does now.
Well, yes, you made him. Dude.
He didn't, and he'd just come off on other films, and he had the flu, and he wasn't feeling well, so I had a Zoom meet with him. But
you're in. Yeah, I want you without the real and who's really ill right now.
So on paper it didn't look great.
Sure.
But when I met him on Zoom, and he was sick, and he'd just come off a movie, so he was absolutely shattered. He really got the story, and he brought a lot of. He was really interested in who Sybil was, and he had this emotional investment, which for me was really, really important for this particular film. And so I narrowed it down to 2 DOPs, one of which was very prolific, and he'd got an amazing show reel, CV and everything. They both then came for the second meeting with their pitch decks, I suppose, the books. And I think it was really a guttural instinct with Igor, because we just connected with the character. He really got the sensitivity of her and who she was, and how nuanced and how layered, and he was really giving some lovely ideas of how this could be shot with the lighting. So it was a difficult decision, because they were both really, really good. But my gut said him, so I went with him. And then Johnny, who was the first AD at that point, and he said, "Who did you choose?" He was called Johnny because he was called Igor in real life, but everyone was called Igor. So he
or Dragon,
whatever.
Yeah.
And he said, "Who did you choose?" And I said, "Oh, I chose Igor." And he went, "Yeah, you made the right decision."
You said this place was steps from the water.
We just haven't found the steps yet.
How much did we save?
Enough.
Enough to get lost?
Or you could book a stay with Hilton.
Welcome to your oceanfront room, just steps from the water.
The Hilton sale is on now. Book on Hilton.com or the Hilton app and save up to 20% to get the stay you expected. When you want savings, not surprises, it matters where you stay. Hilton, for the stay.
Bonjour, compadre. It's the
Priceline Negotiator.
How do I negotiate so many great travel deals? My greatest gadget, the Priceline app. It's got hotel deals, flight deals, rental car deals, all of those deals in a bundle. Deals, game day deals, concert trip deals. No one deals more deals than Priceline. Hold your horses, there's more. The app lets you filter hotels by neighborhood, vibe, star level, and amenities like pools and spas and beachfronts and... Wait, I'm not done. Stop cutting me off.
Priceline.
Have you ever rearranged your furniture and discovered the carpet underneath looks brand new while the rest of it looks, well, not so new? It's time for a carpet upgrade. At the Home Depot, we have stylish choices at simple prices from all the top brands. Best of all, we can install it for you, starting at only 49 cents per square foot. So all you have to do is pick your perfect floor. Start your carpet project today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Exclusions apply for licenses. See homedepot.com/license numbers.
And it was really it was great. And he was really, really great, was Igor. And he's gone on to work with Martin Scorsese and all these kind of people now. So
Wow.
he's doing really, really well.
I'm not surprised. It's
he's
beautiful.
just fabulous.
It's a
Really.
beautiful looking film. It really is. And it stands up straight away. You just go, oh, okay. And now I'm paying attention. This is definitely, it's got this wonderful look about it, this wonderful feel. You almost went back to, I don't know, 1970s and maybe wrong, but it had this real aesthetic to it. And again, I think it probably helped shooting in Serbia because it's a different kind of light, it's a different kind of tone, even though it felt very British. It had this otherworldly feel to it. And I think you and Igor have created this wonderful looking film that's just like magical. You can't sort of take your eyes off it. It's really, really well done. It's really nice. Did you did you shortlist? Did you plan with him? Everything is, again, you talked about the toys that you got to play with. Did you sort of sit and go through everything, every scene? How did you do that?
Yeah. Well, because I think I was so terrified about going out to Serbia, beforehand, I actually just imagined everything in my head, and I shortlisted everything in my head. I knew it was all going to change, but I had some sort of framework to work with, so that when I got out to Serbia, obviously everything changes. But it kind of gave me some sort of confidence that if all else failed, I know I could do this or this. Anyway, so when me and Igor, we didn't have that much time in pre-production, to be honest. We had maybe 5 days together to work through everything.
Wow. Okay.
For shot list, maybe not even that, because we're always being pulled in different directions.
Always.
So
costume or something else. Yeah, you've got to go. You've got to go. You've got to go here now. You've got to go there. And you're like, no, I'm chatting through my film. They'll look fine.
It felt a bit like, it was very speedy. And I think we had like 2 or 3 weeks before to be together to go through everything, really. Anyway, so we had about probably a good 5 days to go through the shot list and what we were going to use. And I would just say what my thoughts were, what I wanted, what I think we could do, how the camera should be, blah, blah, blah. And then he would either say, yes, great, or he would give another suggestion. And, we would work together collaboratively in that sense, because sometimes his suggestions were just brilliant. And then sometimes I wasn't quite sure, because I wasn't sure if that was in line with the character. So we just worked together in that sense all the time. And it seemed to work really, really well. He didn't, I don't think I have a big ego, and he certainly didn't have a big ego about but he was very passionate and very supportive. And as you can see by what he's achieved on screen, incredibly talented.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And it's brilliant to be on the same page as your cinematographer in that sense. And it felt like you work and hear it in your voice, the way you'd suggest something, go, yeah, that sounds great. However, how about this? And that's exactly what you need. A very similar story to my first feature, The Dare, which I shot in Bulgaria. The same thing. I'm out in Bulgaria, you're kind of going, how are we going to make this work? I luckily got to bring my DP, Andrew Roger, but I had to really fight for that, because they were like, why? We can pay for someone here and it's cheaper, and then look what they've done, and we trust them. And they didn't know Andrew at the time, and it can make such a difference. For me, it was like my rock. I needed him there. I needed that. We'd made shorts together. We knew each other's shorthand. We'd done a documentary together, and that was so important and valuable. I've since worked with other DPs, and you need that instant connection and that closeness. It's so important.
Yeah.
Especially into the hard times. Yeah, they don't have your back. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to, and it probably was slightly different in Bulgaria, in the sense that, even though I felt very welcomed in Serbia, I know that there are, having spoken to some of the other women filmmakers who are Serbian, my first AD was amazing. And she really, really was my rock as well. I was really, really, really lucky with her. It's not easy for women in Serbia to be, in the film industry. Right. It's still, I believe, I've been told it's still a bit further behind than where we are now here. So, I was aware that I was a British woman making a movie in a Serbia with with a Serbian crew, many of whom didn't speak English. So there was that kind of I never felt any animosity or anything like that, but that I was aware. I was aware that I am female and British and here in their country and not able to speak their language. So that connection with my first AD and my DOP was super, super important.
Yes.
Because, you've got to have that collaboration so that you have to have your own voice, of course, but you do need, even if it's just to feel better and more comfortable on set, because when people are talking in a different language,
you don't know what they're saying. Exactly. They just go, this person's what they're fucking doing, smiling at you, going, yeah, dickhead. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's horrible. Having that support is so important. It really is. And it's so wonderful, especially it sounds like you're leading from the top as well. And it means if you're DOP and first, because they're passing it down to their teams. And they know if you're not doing a good job. Everyone can tell. It's instant. Yeah. And if you are, then everyone supports you and goes, right, now this could be a really good film. This person knows what they're doing. How did you deal with, because what I learned in Bulgaria is if I wasn't clear, like in the UK, you'd go, oh, and I'm holding up a yellowish book right now. Oh, something about that colour, right? If I didn't hold up the book and go, yeah, give me a yellow colour, I could get mustard. So I had, it's just, I'm putting that into very specific terms, but I had to be so clear if I said yellow, what colour yellow, because I would get a dull yellow. I was like, no one wants a dull yellow on camera. I was like, that doesn't work for me. So I learned straight away to be ridiculously clear with my direction on what I needed from, because it's the language barrier. Were you similar? Was it a similar sort of tale?
Yes, well, funnily enough, the yellow book was part of my tale as well.
That's brilliant. How wonderfully random. That's great.
So it was, honestly, that's hilarious because Sybil, when she's a little girl and when she's older, she keeps the same yellow book.
Yeah.
And I was like, it has to be really yellow. Because otherwise it's not going to translate. It needs to, because it's going to go through
time. It'll just look like a normal book. Yes.
So it's got to be really yellow so people know it from when she was a baby little girl to where she is now. It might be a bit discoloured or whatever, but it's got to be really yellow at the beginning. Yeah. And so I did get about 5 books presented to me. Like slightly mustard, like
dull, pale.
You
That's not yellow.
No.
Yeah. Whereas in England, you'd have said
yellow.
Yes, you'd have said yellow, and people would have understood from your nuance of the way you say it. But in another country, they don't get that, and they're going, "Well, why would they want a bright yellow book?" Because that's what's in my head. We need it. But if you don't explain that, they just, of course, you have to almost over-explain in a way. Visual cues and visual aids are really important.
Yeah,
that's so fascinating.
And I think I did quite an extensive lookbook as well for when I went over there. And, we added to it as well as I was working with Igor, with many references. Because, I don't know if it was the same for you when you were filming in Bulgaria, that none of the crew, I don't think any of the production team had ever been to the UK. So it was really important they understood the landscape, at least, of the UK. I mean, of course, they've watched films and, but it's not the same as actually being there.
It's not.
So I think I was very specific because I knew what I wanted. And I think at first, I remember Ayosha kind of looking at me. His English wasn't brilliant, but he was this is the production designer. I remember when I first met him, he was sort of slightly bewildered by the story and by my kind of explanations. And then Zoe said, because I had to do like a presentation type thing. And then Zoe said, I think that's when it clicked with him and he kind of got it. And then as soon as it clicked with him, he just went all out. He was just, I've got this idea, and she needs to be like this and this. And it was just, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
It's like the floodgates have opened, isn't it? When someone else taps into your vision, they get it. You're like, oh yes, run with it, keep going. Yeah. And that makes you feel amazing.
And he just became this sort of like child. He was so excited. And you just said, come on, Joe, come in here and I'm going to show you what we've got and what we this. And I was like, oh my, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's exactly what, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Better than mine.
Yeah, but exactly. Sometimes, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's like, no, you've done it way better than I'd even. Yeah, absolutely. And he's giving these people permission to do that, I think. And maybe not just Bulgaria and Serbia, but people feel like they daren't step on toes. It's like, that's your lane. This is what you're. So by giving them the freedom and saying, no, you're a mini director of your area. I trust you. Here's my vision. As long as they've got your vision, please go to town. I can always pull you back, but if you don't go there, I'm now going, that's not right. And I don't want to keep saying that's not right.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I think once it felt like there was a moment where it all clicked, and then I think everyone was in, if you see what I mean.
Yes.
I think it was a moment whereby, not that they were suspicious, but they were just trying to work me out, and rightly so. They didn't know who I was or anything about me.
Yep.
And then I think you kind of have to earn that in a sense, and be, respectful of who they are and what they're doing. But I really had to I felt like I did have to earn that in a way. And then everyone was in. And then it was there. We were there, and it was an amazing. It was an amazing experience. The whole filmmaking process was an amazing collaboration. It really was. I was lucky.
You were lucky, but also I can tell you were leading from the front, and it's really important, like I say, to do that and get everyone on side. So many filmmakers I've heard over time have tried to do that and it hasn't worked. They haven't said the vision in the right way. They've got annoyed with someone because they've not communicated in the right way, and they're blaming each other, if you like, and then suddenly it all falls apart. I don't want them on it anymore. And these people work on sets all the time. This is what's so interesting about a gaffer, a grip, a production designer. They're working all the time. As directors, we're lucky to make 1-2 films like every 4 years.
Exactly.
They're doing maybe 5-10 features a year. Yeah, huge difference. So we have to trust them and go, okay, they've done this before. And especially in Bulgaria, where they've been on this movie set on this particular house so many times. They know how to light it. They know where it looks good. They know, yes, we've shot here before. Yes, we've done this. Yes, we can't shoot from the roof. Yes, we can't.
Yes, exactly.
They know.
Exactly. It's exactly that. We had a scene in another part of the palace. And it was, and we went in and I went, oh, this is perfect. We'll use this. And so, this is where they filmed Hellraiser, the series, I was like, oh, wow. So they would say, yeah, it's exactly what you said. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, it's best not to use that room. And, the light isn't, you have to get a rig up that, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of, I felt like I was in safe hands, is what I felt,
And that's so important, because then you can concentrate on working with the actors, which is like the biggest part of a director's job, right? Once you've got through that production stage and you're on set, all right, yeah, sure, I can tweak the light a little bit maybe, but that's their job now. Your job is to work with the actors pretty much. And look, your actors are incredible in this film, like really incredible. Rebecca especially is just absolutely marvellous in this film, and a breathtaking performance that really helps the whole film stand out. Not only does it look good, she's incredible. Obviously, you got Des Hamilton cast this, who I know really well. Talk us through your casting here. Did they want names at any point? Because this is a decent budget. What was the conversations?
Yes. Well, I suppose they did in an answer. Yes, they did want names, but and we did approach quite a few of names that Des obviously knew. I knew a couple, but the timing, we didn't have long. No. We had like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not long to get someone to read the script, put an offer in. Yeah. Oh, you need to turn around pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah. And they were like, I think it was maybe 4 weeks, and Des was going out to some, bigger names. And, after 2 weeks, you go, what's going on?
I need to speak to my lead. I need to speak to my cast. Yeah.
And it was difficult because otherwise either didn't read it, the budget wasn't big enough, they didn't want to be in Serbia. I'm the first time director. There was all these things that I can understand that, and also they were busy. A lot of them were working. Yeah. And sometimes it didn't even get to the actors. They just stalled at the
Agent stalled there. Sure, we'll get back to you in a bit. You're like, no, I need an answer now.
Yeah, I'm kind of desperate.
I've just been through my black book. I need an answer.
Yeah. And anyway, so Des was great. He was absolutely brilliant. I loved him. And so he said, look, I've got a good pool of actors that I know who are brilliant, and let me bring them to the table. Let's just do some self-tapes. You decide what scenes, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so that's what we did. So the main parts that he was casting for was Emma and Sybil.
Right.
I had James Fleet already because I'd worked with him, and you know he agreed to do it.
Yeah, fabulous. He's fabulous in it. He's so good in this. He's just. I can imagine he's lovely as well. I've not worked with him.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
Oh, okay.
Got a big cuddle. And then we had. I knew Jay as well, and I thought Jay Taylor, who played Mark, and he's worked with us a few times. So I said, Jay, do you want to do it? If you want to do it, it's yours. And also I did think, Giles, that I want people around me who I know and trust.
So important. Yeah.
You know, especially in a country where I don't know anybody. You know, there's so many other things going on. So it was great to have them. And I knew Robin, who played Tina. I knew her as well, and I knew she could do this. So my main concerns are obviously Emma and Sybil, which were the most important parts. So Des was amazing, and I saw a number of actresses for those two parts. First of all, I had to cast Sybil. I really wanted to cast her first, and saw some really lovely actors. But for me, Rebecca just stood out. She was stood out, and I've often said this, that when I was watching her tape, I was just starting to lean in to the screen because she has that quality where you're thinking, what's she thinking? And, you know, that really sort of lovely ethereal, enigmatic quality. So I kind of knew straight away that I'd found her. Then I had to sort of present that to the execs, and they liked her as well. And then it went through another process because I couldn't actually go out and meet anybody.
Because you're in Serbia. They can't fly back. That's budget, time as well, away from, finding locations. And
so it's all a bit of a risk, isn't it?
It is. And I imagine your costume and your hair department at this point are going, well, I can't buy any costume. What am I supposed to do? Yeah, it's good at talking about these colours, big yellows that you want. However, I need sizes. Yeah, exactly.
We didn't even know who she is, where's she coming from. Anyway, so I mean, I think Rebecca turned up about 2 or 3 weeks before. And I think it was all, So anyway, so we cast Rebecca, who was amazing. And
you'd not worked with her before, so you didn't know her at all, because that relationship's so important, especially in a movie like this. And if you get someone who's a bit difficult or a bit awkward, or it really hurts. It's like the director's nightmare, isn't it? It's like, oh my god, no, please be amazing. So I bet you were praying and hoping that, because obviously you must have chatted to her on Zoom, right, as well, to make sure, but you can never tell.
Yes, I did. So when she turned up at the hotel and I went to meet her, I was like, God, I could tell she was a lovely person, and Des knew her as well, and he knows her very well, and he was like, she's amazing. Honestly, you're going to have no problems. And I was like, okay, brilliant. I could tell that anyway, but you never really know until you meet someone in the flesh, do you? Not really.
And I think people are honest with us as filmmakers as well. They know how difficult it is when you're in the trenches and there's an actor who's being difficult. Oftentimes, they just won't recommend them. Like, they know, and they don't want the shit to come back to them when the director called and said, really, that person that gave me this crap? And you always know when someone goes, no, they're amazing on set, that you trust that instantly. Whoever it is, work with them, whoever, you go, okay, I'm going to trust that they are amazing on set, because you need them to be, especially in a role like this as well.
Well, that's it, you see. I mean, she does have to do a few precarious things. And, she's got to commit.
Yes, very much so.
To those things that she does, And, actors can turn around, and I've been on set when that's happened, and say, I'm not doing it. I'm just not going to do it. And you can't make anyone doing it. Yeah. So, it was important that someone knew obviously she'd read the script and she really liked the script. And when we did start talking about some of the areas of the script, which were a little more extreme, she was really great, because she said, right, we discussed that it has to come from an emotional truth from her perspective. It's in her reality. It's not something most people would do, but it's from her own reality. And as long as it came from there, then I think you can go anywhere. And so that's what we did, and that's what she was committed to do. And that's why I just think, I struck gold, really. I was really lucky. She brought that character to life in a way that, far exceeded my expectations.
I agree.
Because, she's just amazing.
You struck gold. She's got this, the line between absolute psycho and just someone who's a bit lost and lonely. And it's right on that line between you wanting to put your arm around her and go, actually, it's okay, let's go get a drink, and going, stay away from this woman. She is absolutely mad. And it's that perfect balance which hooks you in and keeps going, what's she going to do? What's going to happen here? Which must have been amazing for you for the first day shooting, or the second or third, to suddenly go, oh my God, I think I've got something magic here. Yeah. When was that moment where you went, this is absolutely perfect? She's even given me more than I wanted.
Yeah.
At first, I didn't think it was real. I woke up to this blinding light, and I was transported to another place. Pluto TV. Then I heard a voice.
Come with me if you want to live.
There were thousands of movies and shows, and they were all free. The truth is ours. It's just so beautiful.
On Pluto TV, free streaming of Terminator 2, Fringe, Arrow, The 100, and The X-Files may cause excitement, loss of sleep, and sudden belief in extraterrestrials. No credit cards or alien encounters necessary. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The empty seat. Who was actually just that, an empty chair in your office, because you couldn't find someone to fill it. So it just sat there, costing you money with all its fancy ergonomic features. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can make it easy to fill that seat with the right candidate, with nearly 60% of businesses finding someone to interview in the first week alone. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
From sauce to dust to nuggets, it's Taco Bell's new Diablo Dusted Crispy Chicken Nuggets. Are they mild? If they were mild, they'd have to change the name to Little Rascal Nuggets or Minor Nuisance Nuggets. Definitely Diablo. New Diablo Dusted Crispy Chicken Nuggets, a brand new classic. Only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time and while supplies last.
As soon as I saw her on screen, I think the very first scene that we shot was in the Calamigdan Park when she was going to steal the baby.
Yeah.
So it wasn't when she was actually taking the baby, it's when she's getting in and out of the car. So that was just the first scene that we did. And actually, I could tell then that there was something really amazing going on just by her being in the character. But it's always, there was so many scenes where sometimes I actually cried because she was so, there was one scene when she was sat on the bed and the camera's above her and it comes down and she's sat on the bed and she's sad because she's lost Mark or thinks she's lost Mark and she's lonely and the camera comes down and then she sort of pulls herself together and then goes to check on the child in the other room, and it was just her process was so real and so haunting that I was, again, it just blew me away. But there are so many instances. I think she just has this presence on camera that it's an illumination almost.
Yes.
She's very, very conservative with her face, with her expressions, but there's so much going on within that. There's pools of layers.
Yeah.
Within her eyes, and you can feel it, even though she's doing very little. I think she's just got an amazing presence, which I think is, you can't define that.
No,
really,
you can't define that. How did you direct that then sometimes? Did you, occasionally, was it just pull it back a little, or was it push that further? What was it, those moments where you went, oh, well, you've nailed this, or when you weren't exactly clear, maybe not with Rebecca, but maybe someone else's, how did you just tweak those performances? What is it you like to do as a director?
Well, I would always, what I would normally do is, obviously we talk about the scene before it happens, and then I will always go up to the actor quietly, and just sort of say, try it a bit more like this, or maybe give an action to do something instead of, I would never say, I don't know, the obvious awful thing that, be funny.
Yeah, do it better.
That. Yeah, just be better.
Just be better. Okay.
I wouldn't do that. Because I've had that before.
Right.
So, I think I think with someone like Rebecca, she was she's a very sensitive person. So she's very in the moment. So it's kind of really respecting that. So that when you do give a note to say, okay, well, maybe just try this, just free this up a little bit, just explore that, where you are in that particular emotion, but, just free it up or whatever. She, but then she'll say, oh, do you think a bit like this? And I was like, yeah, try that. Right. So it's a kind of a two-way thing instead of me telling her sometimes, what to do. I think, whereas with someone like James, he just nailed it.
Yeah, sometimes you don't need to do anything, do you? You're like, yep, we got that. Let's move on. Let's not waste any more time. Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah. And I think what I found was interesting, and I don't know if you've ever found this with actors, and I think it's probably because having been an actor, I can see other actors sometimes absorbing the energy of another actor.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I and you can detect it more on film. So, there was a couple of instances. I just said, I didn't obviously say, I would never say that, but it was just, I was aware that can happen because if you've got someone very mesmeric, like Sybil's character, it's easy to sort of be drawn into that and not keep your own composure, I suppose, in that sense.
Yes.
It's one of those things that I've noticed a lot with actors, as an actor myself. So I was always aware of it with this because Sybil is such a mesmerizing character. It's important that we all have those clear definitions of each character within the story.
Yeah, I love that. It happens in plays quite a lot more than film because you're rehearsing big scenes for long times and people get each other's rhythms and you're like, oh no, guys, you're all like, you all sound like exactly the same now. And on film, it's sometimes harder because you're just often jumping in, you haven't even rehearsed this. But when you have and you're doing it, you go, oh guys, you're almost in the same TikTok-y rhythm now. Stop.
Yes.
As we don't do that in real life, or very rarely. That's fascinating. That I'm glad you brought that up. We've never talked about that before. It's so true, and it can happen. And then it's just a case of how delicately can I discuss this with the actor to make sure I'm not saying something that will upset them or make them feel less, because they're talented people and they're vulnerable, and so you don't want to just go, you're in the same rhythm as this person, sort yourself out.
No, God,
or embarrass them in
front of everybody.
No,
it would just it's a very fine line, and it's delicate, and I think it's just finding that balance and it's just respect, isn't it? It's about being kind and respectful and explaining. I think as soon as you explain to someone about what possibly this is leading into, then they get it. But if you said, oh, you're doing that, you're picking up on her energy, so you need to sort of then it will become slightly defensive and insecure.
Yes.
So it's just trying to find that way of saying it. It's not always easy, but I think I did it. I think I only had to do it once, but it was an interesting, only because I knew of it before having been an actor.
Yeah, that's good. I made a mistake once and I love that you said, you talk to your actors, you come and whisper to them or you bring them to the side. I'm exactly the same. I made the mistake once of not doing that in front of a group of lads, in terms of actors, and that actor got upset because obviously I would just went, just like in front of everyone else. And it was on first day and it was like, what are you doing? It was only now, you look back and go, why did I do that note in front of everyone else? And it wasn't that bad a note. It was just, but it was just, they got upset by it because they're the star, they're the thing. You're just like, oh my gosh, yes, no, shouldn't have done that. How do I get out of this now? It took weeks. It took weeks to bring that, to get that, gotta get trust back. It did. It was really tough. It was like, oh my, and that scene is awful. They're awful in the film at that moment. It's just like, okay, I'll cut around it because but it was my fault. It was my fault for giving a bad note. It's like, it was a good note, but said in the wrong way. It's like,
yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's when you've got a note, it's how you give it to that particular person, because some people can take a note and it just like, okay, yeah, whatever, just tell me. And you can say it from there. You don't have to come up
some
to me.
People are like that. Yes.
Yeah, some people are fine with that, but it's kind of knowing all the different people and energies. And I don't know when I don't know if it was the same when you were shooting in Bulgaria, that the crew, they're amazing crew, but they're very loud.
Very loud. Yes.
Very loud,
Yeah.
And I remember James, bless him, was coming to set one day and we were in the sort of kitchen area, which was the mortuary, and it's quite echoey and they're all shouting, rah, rah, and they're not angry with anybody. It was just how they talk. And I remember James just going, oh my God, he's just walking through with his hands in his head, with his head in his hands. And he was just, he just had to get to a quiet corner in another room because it was just too much for him. But, but that's,
it's part of it. Yeah, I've just come back from Bulgaria, shot another movie over there at the studio with the same team. And it's so different going back. Even though I've gone back a few times, I've done bits and pieces. It was just so nice to go back. A lot of the same crew, a lot of the same people, even though it's like 10 years later or whatever. It's so nice. And that feeling like I'm not, because when you make your first movie, you're very scared. You're very kind of, oh gosh, am I doing this right? I don't know. Yes. And going back again, well, I've actually made some movies now. I feel like I know what I'm doing a little bit. But still respecting them and going, no, you've still made way more films than me. Give me some ideas. You've shot here before. And that's so amazing. And talking of that, what you're going to take forward to your next film? Because I really hope you direct again. I imagine you're going to. So what is it that you're going to take forward from this that you've learned, something that you go, oh, that was great, and something that wasn't, that you went, I'm not going to do that again?
Well, it's a really good question. I mean, I had a really great experience, and I know that's not necessarily the most interesting answer with actually filming this film. It was a really great experience, and I think that it was more for me that the difficulty was after the film finished, in the sense that, my hopes was that it would do a lot of festivals and, do that route. And then, because distribution is so hard now. And I think in hindsight, and I think I am not speaking out of terms here for the producers and exec producers, is that they should, now more than ever, that you need marketing money, which I think that's what they struggled with. So I think that sort of, it let things down. However, they've done as well as they could do under the circumstances. So I think for me moving forward, I think I would like to work with, I can't work with the same Serbian crew, of course I can't, because that's almost impossible, but I would like to take the DOP with me, because I absolutely trust and respect what he can do and his brilliance, and we work very well together and we have a very similar vision. So that's one thing that I think is so important, and you mentioned that before, to have that relationship with your DP. And also producers as well. They're really, really important, so that they can support you and they understand your vision as well. Maybe, I there was too many scenes written for a very short amount of time. So it's that sort of being more careful, I suppose, with the script and the budget and what you've got and the time that you've got and the locations that you've got, because that put quite a strain. Even though the Serbians were very, very efficient and very fast, it put a strain on stuff, and we did have to miss, shots and scenes and stuff.
I see.
So yeah, I think I going forward, if hopefully, I've got other films, in various different stages of development. It is hard to make your second film. Yes. I don't know if you found that, but I've been told that as a woman, it's even harder. I don't know, but it hasn't been that easy, to be honest. But I think that's many factors because of where the industry is at the moment. But yeah, I think, moving forward, I think you just need good people around you. You can't do it all on your own. Sometimes I feel like I have to do this, I've got to write this, I've got to do that. But you do need people around you as well to give you that support.
Yeah, you do. And did Dom come over? Was Dom there for a bit of the time? Because I know that obviously he's got to be at home and be with the kids and do his life there. But did he get to come over and see you work your magic on set a bit?
He came over for a few days.
Okay,
Yeah. It was really lovely. It was lovely to see him, but I couldn't, because he brought the boys as well, and I was just like,
no,
this is they're two worlds coming together.
Yeah, and I'm really busy. I don't know if you know, but I'm directing a movie.
And I was about to go into a night shoot, and I was like, oh no, and I was like torn because I needed to. I hadn't seen them for 3 months, and I was like, oh God, I feel really bad. And it was just, it was, since I've read directors saying no family on set kind of thing, so just. Your brain's in a totally different place.
Totally
and then
agree.
I had to be mum, and it was like, oh God, who am I?
Who am I right now? And I actually physically don't know if I can do this. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And obviously because you'd worked with Dom, and you produced all his films as well, in terms of what he directed, and having that team around you, as you mentioned, is so important and so nice to have. But taking from the producer side of it, that must have been interesting for you, because you're there as a director, but you understand the producing side of that as well. You're kind of like, yeah, I know what you're going through. I've been here, I've done this, which probably made you a more understanding director, shall I say, when something fell through or you didn't get it, you kind of went, oh, I really want to say something, but I understand why this has not happened, right? It makes a difference, understanding the whole world and doing it.
100%. 100%. And, you know what it's like when you're doing really micro-budget movies and you're wearing many hats and you're doing all the jobs and putting out fires left, right and centre, the stress, the tears, the kind of, all of that, the sleepless nights. So, when Zoe would say, Joe, you can't have that. We haven't got it in our budget. I would go, oh, okay.
Right.
It's kind of, because I know that there's no point in getting stressed about it. And if there was something that in saying that, if there's something that I would feel very, very passionate about, then we'd work a way of compromising, maybe for something else. But I totally understand how hard it is to be on that side of things.
Yeah.
And the stress. So I think, maybe that helped, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, directing was like, it was just really nice. I mean, I know it's really hard.
Yes, but it's really nice. I much prefer it to producing. Like, I love directing. It's, producing is hard, and there's really no, like with directing, you get the sort of, the gratification of a beautiful shot or a beautiful performance or tweaking something, going, got it, move on. As a producer, you don't. That moment doesn't arrive. It's just let's get through this. Oh my God, we've got through this. Oh, let's get through this. Oh my God.
Where's that money coming from?
Yeah, where's this? Who am I paying? What am I doing? Where's the lunch? What's happening? Why have we fired that person? Oh, I see why.
It's just a headache.
It's a headache.
You know?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. So I think that stood me in good stead.
I can imagine. Look, Broken Bird's amazing. It's out now everywhere on all the channels. All the panels? I don't know what I was going to say.
All the planets?
All the planets in the world.
In Sybil's planet, Sybil universe.
Yes, in Sybil's universe. It's incredible achievement. It really is. It's a beautiful film. We didn't even talk about the fire elements, which looked amazing, by the way. I was like, okay. I wonder how you did that. But we'll come to that another time, maybe, because, I've taken up lots of your time right now, and I really appreciate it. This has been, honestly, what a wonderful chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Giles. It's been amazing. Thank you.
My absolute pleasure. Remember, you can go out there and make your indie film. You can make it happen. Just believe in yourself, believe in your project. And even if you do go to Serbia, this is what it's about. You can make your indie film, so make it happen. If you're lucky enough to rise up and do well, just as Joanne has done, then it is your duty to send the elevator back down. Joanne Mitchell, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Love that. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
In Michigan, you can feel the energy everywhere in the fresh breeze of a riverfront stroll or nightlife that hums with electricity. Let it bring you together in pure Michigan. Find your season at Michigan.org.